All right, hey guys, got the coaching staff here with me, and we just came out of a coaches meeting where we've been talking about open prep, kind of going over the ideas and coming up with a plan on what we're going to do throughout the next cycle, which is going to be about 7 weeks to get you guys ready for this year's CrossFit Open. Okay, so the format that we've decided on is going to be, we're going to squat on Mondays. In just a second, Coach Storm's going to talk a little bit about what you can expect to see on Mondays. Tuesday is going to be more the gymnastics skills. What we did is we went back, we've looked at the past opens, seen which movements were the most frequent, kind of categorized everything, and that's the movements that we're going to focus on. And then we're going to also implement in a few new movements that we think we could potentially see. Okay, so Tuesday's going to be more gymnastics skills. Coach Logan's going to be handling that day. On Wednesdays, we're going to be going more with some dumbbell strength work, something that we haven't done a whole lot of, but treating the dumbbell movements with more with a strength emphasis. Okay, so moving a little bit heavier dumbbell weight than what we would typically move, say, in a conditioning type format. Those are also going to be paired up with some IWT. I'll talk through that part because Wednesdays are going to be the day that I program out. Coach Zach's going to be taking Thursdays. That's going to continue to be a partner day. He can talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing there on Thursdays. And then Friday, we're going to keep that more of an open format, a lot like what you saw today. Okay, so we went back, looked at all the past open workouts, and we're going to pick one of those workouts each week, something that we haven't covered in that previous week of programming, but just more of an open style, past open workout, just to get you guys ready, get you kind of mentally moving in that direction of what those workouts feel like, the various time domains, the movements, and also just kind of priming your body to perform well at the end of the week on a Friday, because that's going to be when we're doing the open workouts when the time comes. Okay, so with that being said, Coach Storm, talk to us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing on Mondays. And as you can see, notes taken on a napkin. Some of the best business ideas and books have been written on napkins.
So basically, we sat down and we talked, and we're all in agreement that if you can only do one major lift a week, what's the most important? Squat, hands down. If I was on an island, I would hope to have a squat rack. So that being said, we're going to squat on Mondays. Mondays tend to be our most trafficked days, so we like to get a squat when the most people are going to be able to hit them. So not only are we going to squat, we're going to focus on front squats. We'll throw in some variations, but I mean, the open is very front squat dominated. It might not be front squats in the workout, but dumbbell lunges, dumbbell thrusters are possible. Thrusters definitely will be there. Wall balls, all these things that not only require legs, but require core strength. So front squat's going to be the main focus, and it'll be more hypertrophy like what you saw this past week. Because again, the open, all the strength is in the tank, and now what we're trying to do is condition the legs a little bit. We don't want to over condition them, but we want to grow a little bit of muscle. So you'll see some hypertrophy as far as that goes. Sets of 8 to 10, your all's favorite, I know. We'll do a little bit of single leg work, and then we're going to throw in a little monostructural sprint work that's pretty short. So, shuttle sprints like we did, some sprints on the bike, on the rower, things that are that you're going to be able to do after doing squats, but it's not going to be like a long Metcon. As Dusty said earlier, Tuesdays are going to go to Coach Logan. So if you want to talk a little bit about what we got on Tuesdays.
So like we talked about, Tuesdays are going to be gymnastics, working on just the fundamentals, mostly the stuff that you'll see in the open, bar muscle ups, chest to bar, pull-ups, handstand push-ups. Working on that in a time domain, so like an EMOM usually, and then after that would be some of the conditioning pieces, but they do involve gymnastics. Again, working on the open, so the stuff you see in the open, the stuff we saw when we looked at it in our meeting, stuff from the past 4 or 5 years that we do see a lot of in the open. So just mostly gymnastics starting off with, some skill work, and then some gymnastics conditioning at the end. Next is going to be our IWT and our dumbbell strength like we talked about, and that's going to be Coach Dustin.
Yeah, so what we're going to do with the dumbbells is we're going to format it more of in a strength environment. Okay, so maybe you traditionally move a 20-pound dumbbell in workouts. So now we're going to take out the intensity piece, just focus more on the strength aspect of it. Maybe sets of 4, sets of 5, triples, maybe up to 5 reps, but with an emphasis more on you going up gradually in weight. So maybe you step up from 20 to 25 into 30 to 35. So just really helping to develop some strength in those more unilateral, isolated movements to just build overall strength, work out muscular imbalances, that kind of thing, but in a little bit different setting than what we typically use the dumbbells in, okay? Then we're going to move into an IWT piece. So those are normally a little bit heavier weight in a conditioning environment, okay? So they're typically couplets, so a barbell movement with something like rowing, bike, maybe even a 200 to 400 meter run. Typically not very long monostructural movements, but normally with some type of an aerobic exercise, okay? Then it'll be interval style, so you'll have a little bit of rest. It could be maybe like a 5 round to start with say 90 seconds of rest, then with a longer rest in the middle, then with say a 3 round piece. And this is also we're gonna focus on barbell cycling, okay? So you may be lifting a little bit heavier on the first piece, then moving into a little bit more moderate weight in the second half of the workout, and that be with a focus more on the barbell cycling aspect of it, which is something that we could potentially see in the open. But again, we want to create a little bit of a different environment where the loads are on the heavier side, somewhere between like 60-70%, maybe even up to 75%. So a little bit lower reps, but heavier weight with some heavier breathing, okay? And then some of the things that we're going to also be incorporating is in the Instagram post that went out this week, people have been asking about stretching and some mobility exercises that they could do after workouts. So each day we're going to program in a mobility piece or core that's going to go along with kind of what we did for that day, okay? So if it was, say, a squat day, then there will probably be more of like a hip mobility piece that comes in after that. If it's a shoulder day, then we're gonna have some shoulder stretches, upper back stretches that you can incorporate in after your workouts. And then we'll keep programming the core days. That's gonna be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, just because we believe it's so important. We wanna continue on with that. IWTs will typically end with a little bit of core and even some maybe some bodybuilding. So those you can look to see like 3 different pieces in the IWT workouts, okay? So it'll be a little bit of a longer day. You're gonna be constantly moving on those Wednesdays, okay? And then Coach Zach's gonna talk you through Partner Thursdays.
So, like Dusty said, guys, Thursday is going to remain partner day, so you can expect being in teams of 2, possibly 3. Probably won't see many barbells, probably won't see too many dumbbells. It'll be a lot of odd object movement. There'll definitely be some bike, rowing, and probably more centered around wall balls, box jumps, burpees, body weight movements on the bar, pull-ups, toe to bar, stuff like that. Time domain's probably going to be pretty long, anywhere between the 20 to 40 minute window. But once again, you'll be doing it with the partner, so there will be built-in rest in there. And yeah, it's going to be a fun-filled week.
Yeah,
we're all excited about it. And then, like Dusty said, we've got the Open coming up the Open workouts coming up on Friday. And if he's got any more details he wants to cover on that.
Yeah, so you can be looking in the email this week. I'll post about when the draft and everything's going to be. We're still a good ways out from that, but I want you to go ahead and be able to get it on your calendars, and people can kind of start thinking about the Open and getting ready for that and how things are going to be flowing as far as that goes. What we wanted to just kind of give you guys a little bit of a update on some information that we had gathered at the end of the year. So it's really, really beneficial for us, the data that you enter into Wattify, because at the end of the year, we can go back. We are able to look at the most common lifts that we do, see the percentage of how often that we did those. We can also see how many overall PRs that we hit in the gym. Last year, we had 1,100 PRs. We had 25.
That were logged.
Yeah, that's logged. And we think that about 60% of athletes log their data. So I mean, there is obviously a lot of information that doesn't get input. So if you guys could help us with that, it'll really help from a programming standpoint. The more data we can gather, the better programs that we can turn out. We had 2,500, I think, RX workouts, almost 1,500 RX plus workouts. Back squat, I think we had, that was our most common lift.
Everybody's like a 2% increase overall. Like
over the other lifts, which were snatch, deadlift, shoulder press, and front squat. So really, really good information, and information that we're really, really happy with to be able to see, because that's, obviously the goal is we want the squat to be the most programmed lift. We just feel like it transfers over into every single thing that we do. So that's obviously the approach that we're taking, but it's really good to be able to see this information. So we want you logging the info for yourself so that you also can see your progress, but also too so that we can be able to track the information, build better programs, and keep everybody progressing along. So really, really productive meeting that we had today. We've got some really great ideas for this upcoming cycle, and just wanted to give you guys a brief little video, inform you on what's going on, and can't wait to see you in the coming weeks. Have a good one.
See you guys.